I'm just gonna... It's Sue in the restricted section. Today I thought I would do a quick April wrap-up slash book haul slash kind of tentative TBR. So I'll start with the wrap-up. I ended up completing 8 books this month, which is twice what I normally read, but most of them were quite short, so it was probably about the same amount. But the first book that I completed was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by Hunter S. Thompson. This book is an autobiographical novel about 2 men who go on just a drug-fueled, crazy trip to Las Vegas. And I really liked it. I thought the writing was straightforward but very good, and it was really quite a quick and easy read, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I really also liked the illustrations in this book. Let me see if I can find one. Here's a really disturbing looking one, a little, but the illustrations are by Ralph Steadman, and I love Ralph Steadman. I actually have a poster by him of Alice and the Cheshire Cat on the wall directly in front of me, so I'm a fan. But yeah, I thought that his art was a perfect pairing with this book because his art's kind of ugly a little bit. I mean, I still obviously enjoy it and I think it's very good and interesting, but it's not something you look at and say, oh, that's pretty, you know. And this book definitely isn't something that you would describe as pretty either, even though it is quite good. So I thought it was a perfect pairing there. The next book I completed was A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. I'm sure all of you have already heard of this one and know what it's about, so I won't go into it too much, and Megan and I also sort of partially reviewed this in our review of The Wanting Seed by Anthony Burgess. But I did enjoy this book. It was much heavier on the slang language than I was expecting, and if I hadn't seen the movie first, I feel like I might have been a little lost for a little while at least until I got used to it. But I did really like it. I think I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars, and I gave the same rating to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I believe. Next are the books that I read for Genrethon, which Megan and I already did a wrap-up video for Genrethon where we talked about these books, so I'm not going to really talk about them, but I read The Seer by Ali Smith, Fairest by Marissa Meyer, Bitch Planet by Kelly Sue DeConnick and Valentine Delandro. And I also read Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari. And then I had read half of Quarantine by John Smolens, I think is his name, when we did our wrap-up video. I've since completed it. Megan liked that book. I did not. I only gave it 1 star because I did not give one shit about any of the characters in that book. They could have all been dead by the end and I would have been like, meh, who cares? And the plot also was not interesting. And the synopsis makes it seem like it's something that it's not, I thought. Because the synopsis says a ghost ship, which I thought a ghost ship meant everyone was dead on it, which was not the case. But it says a ghost ship comes to port at this, you know, small colonial, I think, village, carrying some disease that is killing people. And so they have to figure out what this disease is before it, you know, infects everyone and kills them. I mean, that was a big part of the plot, but it wasn't, I didn't feel like it was the main focus. Nobody was trying that hard to figure out what the disease was. They didn't have the technology to figure out what the disease was, or the knowledge to do so at this time period when it was set. So, I don't know. I just found the characters all... Most of them were terribly unlikable. The ones that were likable, I still didn't care about them. So I didn't enjoy the book really at all. And then the last book that I finished this month that was not part of Genrethon was Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematory by Caitlin Doughty. This was Megan and I's book that we read for our book club this month, and I really, really liked it. It's about this woman It's a nonfiction book. The author worked in a crematory for like a year, I think. And it's just all about her experiences there and her experience and thoughts on the death industry as a whole. And I found it really fascinating, and especially she brings up some points about how in our culture we do whatever we can to hide death and just pretend it doesn't exist, which is probably extremely unhealthy. Yeah, but I really liked this. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The last couple of chapters I felt were a little out of place, and just I didn't really care for them, but the rest of the book was really good. That's all I completed this month. I started reading Watership Down by Richard Adams, but I haven't got that far yet. I think I got a little bit burnt out at the end of the month after Genrethon because it was just so much reading all at once there. So I've been watching a lot of Netflix lately and not reading in my book, but I'm hoping to finish this one soon because one of my friends actually asked Megan and I to review this book, so we're both going to read that one and do a review on it. So next I'll go to my little book haul. I have a little stack here that I bought mostly from Book Outlet. I'm trying not to buy too many books anymore because I realize that I have a lot of books that I own that I haven't read because I just keep buying more. So I'm going to try not to buy books for a while until I get my, TBR cut down a little bit. But I did purchase Consider the Lobster and Other Essays by David Foster Wallace. This is just a collection of essays about, I think, just random things. And it's supposed to be really good, so I wanted to check that out. Next I got Nature's Nether Regions by Minnow Schulthusen. Ooh, I probably mispronounced that. But it says, what the sex lives of bugs, birds, and beasts tell us about evolution, biodiversity, and ourselves. So, I mean, I couldn't pass that one up. It has 2 bugs doing it on the cover. You can't not buy a book with 2 bugs doing it on the cover. Next I bought Billions and Billions by Carl Sagan. Thoughts on Life and Death at the Brink of the Millennium. And I think this is the last book he wrote, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it says the final book of his astonishing career. Carl Sagan brilliantly examines the burning questions of our lives, our world, and the universe around us. So I'm sure it's going to be super interesting. Next I bought Empire, a zombie novel by David Dunwoody. I actually heard Ben Sanders talk about this book on his channel, and I thought it sounded really cool. I think the main character is the Grim Reaper, which sounds interesting. And I also think that he's planning on doing a review of this book, so I hope that he ended up liking it since I already bought it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he thought about it. And then the last one I got from Book Outlet was Dr. Zhivago by Boris Pasternak. This one's a classic that I'm sure you all have heard of. It's set during the Russian Revolution and it follows Dr. Zhivago. And I remember seeing the like a movie, it was either a movie or a mini series or something, I can't remember for sure, on PBS when I was quite young and really enjoying it, so I thought I'd pick up the book and see if I enjoyed that as much. And then from Book Depository, I technically bought this last month, but Book Depository is slow as shit, so I didn't get it until the very beginning of this month, I think. But that is the Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie. This is a very controversial book, so, you know, that always just makes me want to read it more. This is about 2 men who, their airplane is hijacked and crashes in the English Channel, and then they end up having to battle each other, I think. But I just wanted to check that one out, see if I liked it. The last book I bought was The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test by Tom Wolfe. Amy at From the Dusty Bookshelf actually recommended this book to me because I enjoyed Fear and Loathing. This one I believe is also an autobiographical novel, and I think it's about the author going on again, just like a drug-fueled trip. I'm not 100% sure. I know I looked it up at one point, but it doesn't have a synopsis on the book. But I've heard a lot of good things about this, and if it's anything like Fear and Loathing, I'm sure I'll enjoy it. And then my tentative TBR-ish, I'm gonna finish Watership Down, like I said, but then I realized that I have a lot of books I haven't read, and I've had this for a while. I have a little bowl that has all of my unread books that I own in it, all the titles, and so I've decided that I'm going to try to draw one randomly out of here per month and read it. Of course, I'll read others as well, hopefully, but I thought it'd be fun to just draw one randomly as well. And I drew one last month, but I didn't, or this month rather, but I didn't have time to get to it, but it's a pretty short read, so I think I'm just going to bump it to May, and that's The Storied Life of A.J. Thickery by Gabrielle Zevin. This one's already made the rounds around BookTube, so I'm sure most of you have already heard of it, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty quick read, so I'm just going to, like I said, go ahead and bump it to May and finish it. So next, I thought it'd be fun to pick my next book on camera, so I'm going to do that. And I picked, well, look at that, the Satanic Verses. So I'll be reading the Satanic Verses next month, hopefully. I make my TBRs all tentative because if I don't feel like reading something, I'm not going to read it. But yeah, so I'll put it in my little, I keep my books I'm reading titles in this little cup. That funny story, Megan bought this for me at a flea market, and it says I taw putty tat around it, but she bought it for me because she thought it was funny and thought I would think it was funny as well, that if you look at it from the inside, it says twat. Can you see that? So that's how our sense of humor works. But anyway, that was my April wrap-up / book haul / tentative TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you everyone for watching. There'll be information down below as usual where you can find me and Megan other places online, and Megan will have, I think she's doing a wrap-up video as well, so she'll have that up tomorrow, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!